Danny La Rue.
Well, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Well, it sounds...
Follow that, as they say.
I mean, you're a legend, I'm a legend.
Legend. I'm a legend in my own lunchtime.
That's right.
Yes.
You've done everything in entertainment. You're one of the few old-time performers left, aren't you?
Less of the old. I'm 71 going on 12.
Yes.
Yes. No, well, the thing is that when you enjoy your work and you hear, like I do, consistently, laughter and applause, it's marvellous. It's like filling an empty car with petrol when you think you've run out. You know, it's a marvellous feeling. You can't really describe it. But the Midlands, you know, I have played everywhere in the Midlands. I can't think of where I haven't played there. Nottingham so many times, Derby so many times, Birmingham since the late 50s, Leicester, all up that way. So they all sort of know me. I'm just Dan to them, you know, and it's nice. You sort of grow up with your fans and get new fans, so it's pleasant. It's a very nice feeling. You know, as we talk, people are being murdered all over the world, and it's a terrible time. 1999, and we seem to be walking backwards. So we bring just 2.5 hours of fun, glitz and glamour and comedy, bit of singing and dancing, and no messages, because they have enough messages all day. So I think that's part of the success of the show, really.
Why are there no music hall and variety entertainers anymore? I mean, you and Ken Dodd, I think, are about the last two, aren't you?
Well, no, there's Max. Max is doing very well, and he's much my senior. He's 78 or 9, I think, and he's got a wonderfully successful tour. There's Des in his late 60s. He'd hate me for that, but he's about 69. Then Harry just works when he wants to. I think it's another form of, and of course what you have to remember, now there used to be hundreds and hundreds of variety theatres, and they're non-existent, you see now. That's the sad thing. So you either, the clubs used to be huge, there are very few clubs now. You know, you've only got Barry's Stardust Club in Baden, and you know, just outside Leicester. That's a wonderful club. That's like Las Vegas. I do a lot of shows there. But it is a shame, and of course the younger people don't get a chance to do what we did, do our sort of apprenticeships in all over the country, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. You know, it's very sad.
Do you ever get bored of entertaining?
Oh, no,
do you ever wake up in the morning and think...
If I get bored, I'd go away. No, I'm still lucky enough to be stage struck, and that's marvellous. And, you know, as I said, you know, wherever I arrive, there's always letters locally saying, welcome back, Dan, and things like that. I bless my mother for calling me Dan, because everybody calls me Dan, so it's lovely.
You're coming to Newark, you're coming to Buxton and Leicester.
Well, Newark, it's a while since I've been to Newark, and of course, I love that theatre because the people, what they call the Friends of the Theatre, created that theatre. And it's lovely to see people, you know, that's somewhere that would have fallen down, would have been as revived. I'm looking forward very much to coming back, and the business is very good. And I think while I'm there, I'm doing a bit of television for Central, because I've done lots of television for Central and that in Nottingham. So it's rather nice. We'll be going back, and they're giving a little party after the show for the Friends of the Theatre for my company. And that's a nice thing, because they treat you like a friend, and that's the marvellous thing about the Midlands. Me duck.
It's very friendly, isn't it?
Hey, me duck, how are you, Dad? Hey, me duck. And I love all that, you see.
Are the audiences warmer up here then than they are, for example, in London?
Well, London, you see, London is full of foreigners. As Alec Guinness said, he doesn't do any more shows because he said he's fed up rehearsing a show, and the curtain goes up and you've got 400 Japanese asleep.
You see, because we've got the advantage in this country. In this country, we have the advantage over the rest of the world because we're not foreign, are we?
No, we're not foreign. But what I mean is you have to go to the provinces to get the real audiences. You know, you go up, I've just been up South Shields way and that, and it's marvellous. You get a wonderful reception. See, not a lot of artists will tour anymore. I love it, you see. I was weaned on that. I did a good apprenticeship, you know. I've gone right through my career. I've played. There isn't a theatre, I don't think, in England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales that I haven't played several times. So it's like going back, and it's like going back to friends, which is very nice. You know, we had a 10-week season in Birmingham Hippodrome, which we took just under 2 million, which broke not only the record of the city, but the record in the history of pantomime. And you hear people say, oh, is pantomime dying? It's never been bigger. Some theatres survive the whole year on what they make in pantomime. Because it's British, nobody else does it. Like music hall, it's peculiar to Great Britain.
I've got two questions for you. First question is, the reason I like your act, and I've seen you many times, is because it's innocent, it's nice, it's friendly, there's no offensiveness there's no swear words, which is great. Yeah. I get sick of hearing the F word now, and it seems as if you can't go to any entertainment variety, be it, any form of entertaining without the F word slipping out. The other thing I was going to ask you about, this is a question you probably... It's ridiculous to ask and impossible to answer, but could you describe your act for me?
Well, Dan walks into a dressing room. There's people, you see, when you do pantomime, everybody knows you're a character, so you're a character all the way through. You're either with the Twanky or in the current one that I'm doing again next year. It's already fixed, next year's pantomime. I played Queen, Baroness Voluptua. Now, when I do the current show that I'm doing, in lots of things that happen, like in concerts, the top of the bill will come on in the second half. Well, I'm on 1.5 minutes after the opening. I'm introduced, and they talk about celebrating 50 years, and I reminisce, and I talk, and my opening costume, I think, is about £5,000.
Really?
But what I say, watch your mate, you see, like that, and I say... Now, the pianist, so I'd talk to him, my musical director is wonderful, like a chairman. I say, now, why do I have to do this? And he says, you have to do this because it's market research. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry, but I have to ask for some unknown reason. Are there any senior citizens in? And a lot of them will say yes. And I say, thank God, I'd hate to be lonely. So, I've always been honest with the audience, and then they'll see a tribute to Marlene Dietrich, who I knew, a tribute to Judy Garland, who was only 4'8" and I'm 6'2" on the stage, so I don't pretend to be them. I do tributes to Judy Garland, Sophie Tucker, and I always finish up, by the way, as myself, which is nice. I can't define what that I am. I don't believe in the 4-letter words either. What I put it down to is people who have no vocabulary. I can be very cheeky and very nice, but I'm like, I don't, what is the word? I don't hold, I was like a butterfly, I flit. It's all in the mind, innuendo.
You what?
Innuendo, sleaze, is not sleaze. You leave it into the imagination. That's clever comedy.
Yeah.
But when you do say, as you say, I get very bored with the dirty suit of fag and the 4-letter word. Every other word, so it makes up for what apparently is talent. I hope they're saving their money.
We've been quite pessimistic about modern comedy. There doesn't seem to be any new comedians coming through.
Great young comics and great women comics, I mean.
Who at the moment
I love the girls, the Saunders and that. They're all wonderful, but they're on I mean, there is some good comedy, but the arts, theatre is like a painting. It needs everything. I mean, it needs the alternative comedy, and it needs my sort of comedy, and it needs all sorts of things, and it needs the drama. I just want to make people laugh, and I have managed, thank God, for 50 years to do that. But then I surround myself with talented people as well. So they're not just getting me, they're getting a nice cross-section of entertainment, which I've tried to do, and they appreciate it very much in the Midlands. They've been very, very kind to me. Later on in the year, I'm coming to Nottingham as well, you see, so it's a nice, you feel as if you're going back to friends, and that's what is the nice thing about it.
What do you think of the likes of Lily Savage, who have taken what you do?
Paul is a very good friend of mine, Paul O'Grady. I mean, Paul used to follow me around as, it sounds silly, but like a groupie. He used to think I was wonderful. We are entirely different performers, but we're very good friends. I mean, he is an icon of the 90s, isn't he? I
think he's the only one coming through at the moment who's any good, to be honest with you.
Yes, he has. He's a very intelligent man, and Lily is a person. I mean, he's a sort of Liverpudley and Dame Edna. They're aggressive and they're marvellous in their way. I've always approached it in a different way, but we're very great mates. People seem to think, that because we do the same sort of thing, but he's of the moment. And I'm on 5 decades.
Let's just hope he'll be around as long as you have. Thank you so much.
Please, God, it's a great pleasure talking to you, and I'm looking forward very much, to coming back to all my lovely Midland venues.
Thank you so much for talking to me today, Danny La Rue.
God bless you.
Cheers. Thank you very much.